literally destroyed by racist violence. And many of your families, I'm sure, may have experienced the same tragic things that Rajes's family experienced. And Rajes has not only kind of documents this beautiful bygone era, this beautiful culture, but has been brave enough to also examine the darker side, particularly the limited choices available to young girls. And Rajes, in her writing, in her political activism, and in her life, has provided such an example to women of all cultures to have the courage to achieve their own dreams the way she has done. Let's see. Okay, yes. So I wanted to say that that's River Through Life. Journey to Jaffna, although published in Tamil under a different title. I think this one particularly speaks to the experience of the Tamil diaspora. And I think that not only Tamils, diaspora Tamils, but many immigrants now living in other countries will identify with the protagonist of this novel, who is torn between the values of his own culture and the kind of new experiences that he's experiencing in his life. And it's not only something that diaspora Tamils can identify with. I think we can all identify with this book. And it just opens up the world, a whole new world to everybody. So I think many people, on the personal front, many people in North London have enjoyed Rajes's signature chicken curry and my personal favorite, pumpkin curry. And many fantastic political campaigns have been launched and organized from Rajes's living room. In her writing, in her political activism, and in her life, she's built bridges between cultures, bridges between an older generation and a newer generation, bridges between men and women, and it has provided an inspiration for us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. Now I would like to call Miss Eileen Graham-Link, a writer and editor, to deliver her speech.
Thank you. Well, I won't be very long because I'm sure I'd just be repeating things that you've already said, but I did want to just take this opportunity to pay tribute to Journey to Jaffna as a novel of summer vacation, because it has actually always been one of my favourite of Rajes's novels. So I've read not all of her novels, but some of them in translation, and this one I think always spoke to me particularly. And I think it's a really remarkable achievement, that something that is that for one thing is written 40 years ago now and is so much located in a particular historical moment, nevertheless doesn't read like a historical novel. You know, Param is very much of his time and of his particular situation, but there is also a sense, I think, in which he's everyman, and so it still feels relevant to read it now, as I'm sure it did when it originally came out in Tamil. And I think Param is an incredibly brave hero because, you know, he's often not very heroic. You know, he's always conflicted. He always doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what will make him happy, what he should do, and so on. So he's kind of, it's very difficult. I know from my own experience as a writer, it's quite easy to write someone who kind of bestrides the world like a colossus and always knows what to do and always does the right thing. You know, that's quite an easy hero to bring to life on the page. Someone like Param is much more difficult, but I think much more worthwhile, because we can really see ourselves in his struggles. And I think for me also, coming from a British culture, he's an antidote to a certain sort of propaganda that we get, that we don't have community, that we don't have duties to each other, that we are just consumers, and as long as you're buying the right things, then that's fine. And I think PARAM stands for actually a recognition that, well, we do have duties to each other. We are part of society. There is such a thing as society. And that isn't always an easy thing to balance, as he shows as a character. But I think that's an incredibly important discussion to have, an incredibly important character for Rajes to have written. So, so I just wanted to take the opportunity to say I think it's absolutely fantastic that I was able to help in a small way, to help Rajes to get Journey to Jaffna out in English. It deserves to have a wide audience in the English-speaking world, just as it has always had in the Tamil-speaking world, and I hope we can make that happen.
Thank you. Without further ado, I would like to call Rajes Bala to deliver a speech to express her feelings.
Thank you. Thank you all. I don't know when to I don't know what to start really, because I'm very moved with all the praise from my Tamil people and my friends. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Because I wanted to publish this book soon as possible, quick as possible, because the book was published in 1981 in Sri Lanka by Padmanabha Iyer. It has gone to another meeting. And you all have no idea how the situation was in Sri Lanka at the time. Because Jaffna, the library was burned in May 31st, and he published in October. So you can imagine, everywhere the army. And so that time he published it, because when he asked me to write this novel, because I went to Jaffna, we went to Jaffna in 1980, January. So we saw the situation. I just wrote what we saw, what the people felt. That is their reflection of it. There's nothing lie about it, nothing exaggerate about it at all. So they loved it in Sri Lanka, because, as Susie said, Susie and Elaine understood whose Param is, Paramanathan. Because, as I said, in the Western society, me. So he was one of them too when he was in England. He and darling like Mary and beautiful daughter. But when he went to Jaffna, he became somebody else.